What up, guys? It is me, Lee, with MicrowaveMoney.com, coming at you with another video in the 30 videos in 30 days for the Come Up Entrepreneur series. We are now on day 14 and I cannot be more excited. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for joining me again, to hear me ramble about another topic that should be on every entrepreneur's mind. Even if you are I think if you're a seasoned entrepreneur, you don't necessarily operate from a lack mentality. But when you're first starting out, and if you've not had a lot in your life, or you haven't had to bet on yourself with a significant amount of money or time, then you are probably operating from a lack mentality. And that simply means that you aren't giving all that you can to your dreams and your endeavors, because you don't know that you will be able to replace what you have if you spend it or use it all. And that's definitely not a way to grow in business. It's not a way to start a business, but it's definitely not a way to grow in business if growing in your business is something that you hope to do. Business is a calculated gamble on yourself. When you go into business, there are no guarantees as far as the outcome is concerned. The only thing that you can really control in your business is the effort you put in to creating systems and the effort you put into executing systems. That's really the only thing that you can control. You can't control how people receive what you put out into the universe, and you definitely can't control how people react to what you put out into the universe. The only thing that you can do is give it your best effort to begin with and improve on that effort as you learn different strategies to improve what you actually do. I have a hard time speaking in generalizations. I love talking to individuals. I love talking to people. I love people. I studied sociology in school, and it's just, people are very, very fascinating. And when I tell you I love people, I don't mean I love people's personalities. There's a difference between loving people and loving some of the interesting qualities about people. It's not as complicated as I want to say that it is, but I love people. I love studying people. I love talking to people. I love learning about their lives. I don't like drama, and people come with drama. It's inevitable, but hey, can't live with them, and definitely cannot live without them. So I choose to live with them. So I said all that to say that when you are starting your business, you need to think in abundance. Yes, you might not have as much money as you want to start your business, but you do have money. Figure out a strategy to best utilize the money that you have. And also in that strategy, think of growth opportunities. I know a lot of people who are starting businesses hate the idea of paying for advertisement. And I'm not sure, but I think Earl Graves of Black Enterprise has a quote, something to the effect, you can't afford to not advertise. If you can't afford to advertise, then you can't afford to be in business. Something to that effect. Don't quote me on that. If he didn't say it, somebody said it, and I'm saying it to you. If you cannot afford to advertise your business, you cannot afford to be in business. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to throw money at your advertising strategy. Money is beneficial and it's helpful. The more money that you have to devote to advertising, the better strategy you can implement. But a strategy is more complicated than saying I have this amount of money to devote to a budget for advertising. You need to figure out where to advertise. You need to figure out how to advertise. You need to figure out the best days to advertise, because yes, you might be targeting a particular segment of a demographic on a particular website. You might be targeting them at the mall on the weekends, But if you don't know when your particular demographic is there to receive that information or is willing to receive that information, your advertising budget will be wasted. So it's one thing to say you don't have an advertising budget, because everybody should have an advertising budget. I mean, $1 a day on advertising is significant. It's substantial. You can make do with $1 a day in advertising if you know where to spend that dollar. And if you don't have money, you have resources. Every time you talk to somebody new, you should be presenting your business. Not necessarily that they are going to be a customer of yours, but they might know somebody who might be a customer of yours. Now, what I'm talking about is actually outside sales. If you don't have any experience in sales, and a lot of beginning entrepreneurs actually don't really like sales, which is so interesting. If you have ever had an outside sales position, if you've ever had a retail sales position, if you ever had a telemarketing position, if you ever had a job at McDonald's, you should be able to sell effectively. Maybe not at McDonald's, because people have changed. Back in the day, I don't know, people give McDonald's a bad rap, but they have not always been what they are today. It's just what it is. Fast food workers used to be pleasant, friendly. They used to explain the menu to you, and now in 2015, that's not necessarily the case. But if you as an individual don't have an super huge advertising budget, you have yourself. You should be a billboard every time you meet someone. And it's the difference between saying, hi, my name is Lee, I am in copywriting, can I do some copy for you? Usually when you are exchanging when you meet new people, and you go through a pleasantries phase where people introduce themselves to you and you introduce yourself to them. I'm not talking about handing out business cards, but if you have business cards, they're definitely a great asset if you know how to utilize them. But when you meet someone, your goal is to get to know as much about them as possible. That is the key to networking. And I think tomorrow's video might be specifically about your network being your network. When you meet someone, you want to ask them about themselves. People love talking about themselves. And somebody somewhere is probably watching this saying, oh, that's deceptive. If you don't really care about somebody, you shouldn't ask. And I've actually held that attitude in my personal life. But when it comes to business and the idea that you want to grow something, you cannot grow a business on your lonesome. You're going to need people. And the more people you know, the more quality people you know, the more successful you can be at building your business, right? So you meet someone, you ask them what their name is, you ask them what they do. People don't typically like that question if they are not happy with where they are in their lives. But you can ask them a question like, well, what do you do in your free time? Or what do you like to do? And from there, you interact like a normal person, continue the conversation, and hopefully they get around to asking about yourself. Now, this is where a lot of people kind of flunk the network portion of networking. If somebody doesn't ask you about yourself, there is a gentle way to interject information about yourself without being abrasive or seeming pushy. You can always say, you know what you just said reminded me of something that I do in my spare time. I like to do this because I do this. I have a business, I'm working on this, and I definitely like to get your input on this. Are you interested in something like this? Or, do you know someone who might be interested in something like this? I'm trying to connect with other people who have this type of interest. Just have a normal conversation. And if people say no to that soft sell, just let it be. Say, well, this has been a very informative conversation, or I really enjoyed this conversation, and I like to get to know you better, or I like to get to know more about you at a later date. Would you like to meet for lunch? Or can I get your email address and we can exchange ideas? Or do you have Skype? Or are you on Twitter? Or are you on Facebook? Or something. So I guess I'm giving you a formula here. If you don't have money to spend on advertising, that means that you have to spend a lot of your time advertising. That doesn't mean, and that's where money comes in, because the more money you can spend on advertising, the more people you can reach with your advertising. Whereas if you don't have much money to spend, typically you can only reach a small segment at any given time, and that's typically one-on-one. Now, the one-on-one interactions sometimes or often convert, depending on the setting that you meet the person in and the content of the exchange. Those exchanges kind of convert better for your business because the other individual has a face. You're not just some phantom business that they don't know anything about, right? I know I'm going way off, but follow me here if you can. Which might be very difficult. So if you don't have money to throw at your advertising problem, if you're operating from a lack from a financial standpoint, then you have to put more of your time and your effort into getting your business out in front of people. And the more individuals you meet, the better off the more opportunities you have to share what you do with people. Now, everybody you meet isn't going to be interested in your business. And I know this sounds very campy, but the more people you rub the right way, the more people you have an opportunity to rub the right way. You can meet other people off of the strength of your interaction with somebody who can't do anything for you. Kindness goes a long way in building a business. And I really want to reiterate that your online business, to be successful, your online business has to have an offline component. And your offline component is really, for me, or in my experience, and in the experience of some of my clients and some of the internet gurus that I study closely, a large part of their success is due to the fact that the offline component of their business is strong enough to feed into the online component. And from there, it just kind of grows larger. I said all that to say that in your business, you're not going to always have the resources that you need when you think you need them. But if you approach your situation with an abundance mindset, thinking that I have enough to do what I need, regardless of what I don't feel I have, then you will be successful. You're going to lose money in your business. That's just the way it is. And I'm not saying throw $1 million at a problem. Just, you are going to experience loss. You're going to lose. And you have to lose to win, because if
you don't find out what doesn't work for you in your business, as far as advertising is concerned, as far as product choices is concerned, as far as your service menu is concerned, then you will never know what works. And the only way to know what works is to fail at something. You can mimic the businesses of other people, and for some people it's sometimes successful. You have limited success when you're trying to mimic what other people are doing. But the only way to really get to the meaty, juicy part of success is to just dig in and go at it and say, I'm willing to lose something in order to win what I ultimately want to win. You have to be willing to lose something. You have to have some collateral in your business, some significant investment in your business, in order to reap the benefits of actually owning a business. So with that, I definitely want to thank you again for your time and your attention.
If you liked anything I said in this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like anything that I said in the video, give me a thumbs down and tell me why you didn't like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video with people if you are so compelled. And definitely look in the description box to find out more information about the Write Plan Quick Launch course, which is a beginner's guide to expert copywriting for you if you are interested in learning how to copyright for yourself. If you don't have hundreds or thousands of dollars to spend on a great copywriter, the investment in this course is well worth it to learn the structure of copywriting for business and not just going about it blindly and without any direction. I thank you again for your time. I think I've done that like 3 or 4 or 5 times at this point, but I can't thank you enough for your attention and for just motivating me to continue to do these videos. I look forward to the next video and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.